um, repeat that there was a question regarding, is the literature review, how is it distinguished from the reaction paper? Over the course of this term, you're just basically building on what was written prior. So you submitted a draft of a reaction, your reaction paper draft, but that paper is actually what's being expanded to a final paper. And so what you did the first time was give your reaction to what you had read. And now you're looking for empirical articles. And I want to stress that empirical articles are articles that come from peer-reviewed journals. They're not like a Psychology Today. They're not like a social media site. Find out, if you don't already know, what a peer-reviewed journal is. It means that experts had to review the content of the article before it was then approved to be published. So we want to make sure that scholarly articles are what you use. And scholarly articles, scholarly research is the research that's been reviewed by experts and therefore vetted to be published. Usually they come from journals.
And I know you say this is like an extension of the reaction paper.
Correct.
Um, but when we find the five sources, the journal articles that's been peer reviewed, go ahead. You had some, I thought you was about to say something. When we find the five sources in the introduction, with a literature review part, are we just summarizing those five articles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you want them separately, like each, you want us to summarize them each one by one in chronological order.
You can do that. I'm not going to penalize it if people try to integrate it because ultimately you're going to have to the goal is that as you write the next time and you integrate the reactions to the empirical literature that you reviewed, it's all going to go together. So I'm not going to penalize people if they don't separate them.
Okay,
Okay.
because that was also my question was did you want us to take what we've already written as the reaction and like add the empirical sources to it, or should we leave them separate?
I'm not going to penalize people if they do it either way. I'm taking into consideration that we're not meeting. We don't have opportunities to kind of have these conversations. The class got started late and we are pressed for time. So if
Mhm.
people choose to organize this paper, this draft, by just submitting their literature review,
Hmm.
I will not penalize that. If
Okay.
somebody chooses to write about their literature as it relates to what they've already submitted in a reaction paper, I'm not going to penalize them for that. However,
Okay.
that person will be ahead of the game.
Understood. Because I was under the assumption that this was a completely different paper from the reaction paper.
Me as
Mm-mm,
well.
mm-mm. Nope, not today. Not in this term.
Hmm.
Somebody else teaching the class may do it that way, but I
Okay.
feel like because of the time limits that we have on us, to have people write multiple different papers is unreasonable.
Hmm.
Okay. And the other question I had was just something like I wanted to ask overall was I know that we should be like putting the like headers also throughout the paper. So when we're doing the empirical sources, like what would be the labels that we should use?
You could use the article itself as a header if you kept them separate.
Okay.
But if you then found particular things that you wanted to focus on, so say you're going to do a literature review and this is related to your reaction paper, you might choose, I'm just going to throw this out. You may choose to do um, adolescent reactions based on social media. You might choose I think you guys use Instagram the most. So you might choose Instagram as a header, and then you could look at what the literature says about Instagram
Okay, now
under
I
that
understand.
heading.
I understand. Okay, great.
Okay.
What was your question, Jaden? Is it Jaden?
Yes.
Oh,
Um,
uh-huh.
my question was, I seen that like when you open the assignment for the literature review, the instructions were talking about how we should have like the headers throughout the paper as well, like
Mm-hmm.
basically like the overarching things. But I know like for the one I did last weekend, I know that I sectioned it off differently because it was just in terms of reaction. So like I
Mm-hmm.
labeled the first part as like the introduction, I labeled my conclusion, and then like I labeled like the body section where like I was basically given the actual reaction portions. But when you're writing a literature review, I knew that it should look different because it's not like just going to be a body paragraph because we're using multiple sources throughout the paper.
Okay, so in the literature review, because I'm taking research methods now, and I don't know if I'm getting it confused because I have like the title page, my title at the top, and then the first page is like the introduction. Then the next, when I get into the actually discussing the sources, do I need another subheader for that or something?
More than likely, you will. It
I will.
depends on how, yeah, you're organizing your paper. And this is a really good example. I'm not popping your hand, Raya, but this is
Mm-hmm.
why 360 is a prerequisite to this class.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you won't get that confused. So you have your title page, and then what happens on the first page after your title page is that you actually place the title of your paper,
Mm-hmm.
right? On that first page after the title page, and then you can do your headings of like introduction. um you for this particular instance, you guys may use article 1. I'm not saying that you put article 1, but whatever the name of that article is, that could be your heading. And then
Okay.
article 2, that could be your heading. Or you might want to conceptualize it in a different way. So looking at how adolescents react to social media, you might want to use.
Oh, okay. So that's why you were saying the example of Instagram, as if you had like two sources that were specifically targeted as Instagram. Wow, that was big brain. I understand now.
Think about that, because what you're writing is a paper that is really to tell people about the state of whatever it is you're talking about. And so if you really like, how would the one of the things that helps me when I'm writing is like, how should this best be organized to get the point across that I'm trying to get? So you got to think, you said, I heard you say that was a big thing. That you got to think big and then begin to think small, if that makes sense.
Well, I just want to let you know now, Dr. Duncan, I'm gonna try my best
Mm-hmm.
on this drive.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, you see that in my drive and you can like, because your class has been really helpful, even though we in crunch mode, you have like really helped with me learning the APA style. Like, I think it was module 2 that had really helped
Yes,
a lot.
because I've
So,
taken multiple classes that tried to teach APA and it was gibberish. I agree.
yes.
Okay. Well, reach out to me individually if something is not making sense to you. I'm really swamped, but I do try to email. I've missed a lot of emails, but I do try to email people within 24 to 48 hours. So if I don't email you back within that time, you need to I'm sorry to say it, but you'll need to email me again. And then I should catch it. But if you have individual questions, feel free to email me, because I'm really concerned about how people are thinking to be able to write and put it on their paper, but the format is really important here. So, one of the things I really wanted to go over with you guys, whoever came today, was to look at where's my, okay, I'll just try to do it one at a time. I wanted to start with the sample page, but my computer is not letting me be great. I want to talk to you all really quickly about your reference page. I want you to remember that the reference page is just an extension of the paper itself. So it should include a page number. Because it is APA formatted, the title of your reference page should say references. It should not say works cited. It should not say bibliography. These are the things I'm looking for. And because it is an extension of your paper, it is also double spaced.
I have a question. Will we get feedback on the drafts that we just submitted?
Yeah, but you won't get them in time to submit this paper. I'll
Okay.
do my best, but the goal is that you should get the feedback to, that's why I offered to do the class tonight,
Yeah.
because I knew I wouldn't, I'm gonna try, but it might be that you guys don't get it till Saturday and your papers are due Sunday night, right?
I mean,
Um,
well, for me, I just wanted to know if we would get it like before the due date because even if we get it Saturday, like I would not wait obviously until Saturday to write the paper,
right.
but to have already had like my version of the paper written and to still then be able to see the feedback, a little time before so that you know the things to edit so that you don't fall into the same traps of something you've already done that's incorrect.
So here's how that works. I'll do my best to get it to you guys by Saturday. However, if I don't, your this assignment that you're submitting now will be um graded on the basis of your first paper so that I would know that you had not gotten that feedback back, that you had not gotten that feedback yet. So I won't penalize it the same. If that, does that, am I clear with that?
Yes.
Okay. So the other thing I want to make you aware of is that your reference page needs to be alphabetical by the last name of the author, and that it should be a hanging indent. And that's what's shown here. So that your first line of each reference is flush with the margin, but every subsequent line in that reference is indented.
Okay, that is where, okay, so far everything you've gone up for my like for the reference page, I have done except for this hanging indent.
Got to do the hanging indent, and
Okay.
got to do alphabetical,
Okay,
and
yeah.
got and you have to do it such that it's the last name, comma, initials, period, right? And if you add people, this is how you add them. The year of the publication, in parentheses with a period, the name of the article, the periodical where it has come from, and then how you retrieved it. So I'll be flexible with that, but the things I will not be flexible about is that it's a reference page, not MLA, works cited, not bibliography. You got to know that as a psychology writer.
And we are having a running head on each page.
Now, here's what I want you to know about the running head. I really think that we should require the required text for this class should be an APA writing manual, right? Because the writing manual now is in the seventh edition, and they have said that student manuscripts do not have to have a running head.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will hold a student accountable. If they choose to put a running head on here, it has to be correct.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. I haven't touched the running head just because I don't have like the correct clarity about it.
hmm I can tell you what it is, but I also want you to know that for a student manuscript, the running head is optional.
Okay.
And because it's optional, if somebody chooses to put it on there,
And
it's
it's
going to
messed
be
up.
gr
That's why you just stay away from stuff.
right. That's why I advise you to, but I'll teach how it should be done. And so let me, if there's no questions about the references, I'm going to stop sharing that. And then I'm going to see if I can find my APA title page, cover page, and I will share that. with you. Oh, here we go. Yeah, good. Okay. So, all right, you guys see it?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right. So this is a title page, and even with this, some of them are not correct. Now, the running head is optional, but page numbers are not. So it bothers me that this sample page doesn't have page one. Pagination starts on the title page. So in essence, the first page of your paper is actually the second page of your document. You
Okay,
with
and
me?
so it should also be on your reference page as well. Every page should have the page number in the corner.
Correct.
Okay.
And then you see on this title page that midway, the title begins midway of the paper. And it is your full title, your name. You don't have to include here your, I guess that's a student ID, but you would include your name, the course, which is PSY 281. I think we're 91, 90. Yeah, we're 91. And you can put NSU or Norfolk State University. Don't no the first time you write anything that you will abbreviate, you must write it out the first time. So if you were to refer to NSU in your paper, the first time you refer to it, you must write it out. Norfolk State University, in parentheses, NSU. And then further in your paper, you can then say at NSU, student at NSU, but you have to have written it out the first time. So your paper title, your name, the university, your class, my name, and the date.
And what due date are we using?
You can use any date. You can use the date that it's due. You know, an appropriate date. So like if you finish a paper on Friday, you could in essence put November 7th, but you may not finish, so I won't haggle on that. The date is when you write it.
Okay.
And that is all that you put. You may see other sample reference pages, I'm sorry, title pages, cover pages. However, they will say at the bottom, this research was conducted, blah, 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 blah. That is for publication. So students don't include that ever. So if you see a paper that you're using as a template, this is all that is needed on your paper. The name of your paper, the full name of your paper, your name, your university, your class, my name, and the date. Your instructor's name and the date. And so now, if there aren't any questions, I will talk to you about the running head if you want to know. You may not want to know, and that's okay.
Mm-mm.
You
I know you said something about a methods section earlier.
Right. So your methods section, and I sent an article about that, is basically how did you collect the data? So if you're in 360, they're going to tell you because and it was a study. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you that 30 people were randomly selected and then they were given a questionnaire and the questionnaire was completed in 30 minutes. They're going to tell you the process by which they collected their data.
So do we need to have a method section for each article?
Are you going to do something different for every article?
No, I thought you were meaning like based on because we're doing a review based on articles that are already done. I thought that like the method may be different. Like there's no telling that every article has used the same method.
No, you're not summarizing those. Your methods section is not a summary of the article's methods. Your methods section is how did you collect your data? So typically you would have gone to a database and you would have done a search using what keywords?
Oh, so you just basically want to say we looked up the sources, essentially.
The methods section is how the author collected the data that they're presenting. And so, for the purposes of a literature review, how did you get your literature and what did you do? Does that make sense?
Yes,
No?
I didn't realize I was still on mute. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was gonna say, maybe I gotta find us another way to say it. So let's not make it more difficult than it needs to be. The method section is the method by which the author collected their data. And in a literature review, it is typically that they did a search. It is important to put the databases that you searched, the keywords that you searched. If you eliminated some articles, say for example, you found articles that were related to social media, loneliness, but it was for elderly people.
Okay, so cool. We don't have to focus on adolescents.
No, I'm saying if you did focus, if your focus was on, if your react, you're building on your reaction paper. So what was your reaction paper in reaction to?
Teens not socializing in the real world.
Right. So you may do a search for socialization and social media. Say that was your search keywords.
Hmm.
And you came across some articles that were about elderly people.
Okay.
I'm suggesting that those would be articles that you would not utilize because they're not aligned with your paper.
Okay.
But if that was your method, that would be included in your method section. So just to reiterate it again, if you're using scholarly articles, your method should be that you are reviewing scholarly articles found in databases. I'm trying to give you guys the hint, right? So your method section would be how did you find the literature that you're reviewing? What do you guys think? You ready to write?
Um, Honestly, for the most part, I don't think I've done like that. I've made major faults. Like I know that I need to fix the hanging ended on this paper because I didn't have it last time, and I need to figure out what the subheaders will be throughout it. But for the most part, I think I understand, and I'm glad I clarified what the methods part was because I would have screwed that up pretty badly.
Well, make sure you look at what I sent, uh, I think it was yesterday,
Okay.
because I think that gives some good
Also, you
information
gave
about
us
your method.
a last in the last module, you gave us an example of like the perfect title page, but when I went back to find it, I don't see it.
Mm. I'll go
Yeah, it was a
look, but I don't know.
yeah, it was a source up there, but I don't see it anymore.
Okay, I will look. I'm not sure either what it could have happened, but um things are happening because somebody let me know today that module 4 wasn't open and it was open Sunday. I opened it before.
Oh, that was me. I sent you that email earlier
Yeah.
because I went to I only could see the instructions like when you click on the actual assignment, but when you go to the modules, module 4 didn't appear yet.
And I opened it before Module 3 was due, so I don't understand that. But I appreciate being told because I tried to fix it. Is it fixed now?
Um, I can check for my life.
So yeah, I'm seeing it now. And quick question, the attendance sections in these module,
You just
what do we
sent it. You just sent
just
it.
just in what?
A blank piece of paper or your
Okay.
name. Yeah, just something. It needs to have a submission.
Yeah,
Okay.
you usually can just press the space bar and hit submit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. No other questions. Jaden, how about you, Rhea?
No, ma'am.
All right. Again, remember, email me if there is a problem. I will email you within 24 to 48 hours. If I don't, email me again. And then hopefully you'll have the answer that you need.
Okay, thank you so
Okay, I
much
will,
again.
yeah, I will have this recording posted in Blackboard tonight.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you, Dr. Duncan.
Okay, you're welcome. Take care.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.